Josh a little bit after this. What in your mind is the next step for him?
Leadership has been really on his forefront. He and I talked about his return would be his confidence, his experience, his leadership and wisdom he can impart on the running back room with three guys that are sophomores and one that's a true freshman and a transfer. Like, he brings a lot of continuity back in that room, and he just does it the right way. The guy gives you everything he's got every day, and he embodies our fire, passion, energy the way he practices.
Hey, Coach, with a lot of new pieces on offense this year, how would you measure what would be a successful day for your offense on Saturday?
You know, hitting goals. We have some really lofty goals. You know, we go in and we say, okay, we got about 15, 20 goals up there that we look for, and if we hit those goals, then we usually play well. And if we don't, then we usually didn't. There's run goals involved in that, third down conversion rate, red zone rate, yards per completion rate, turnover rate, penalty rate. There's a lot that goes into that. So I can't simply say just win the game. There's more to it than that. And we'll look at it and we'll see where we are, and then we'll figure out what we need to work on.
Kirby, obviously the SEC finally adopted the 90-game schedule last Thursday. What was your reaction to that, and what do you want those three annual rivalries to be determined by, like purely rivalry or some sort of competitive balance involved too?
Yeah, I was no real shock one way or the other. I had gone through the thoughts and processes and the outcomes that would come way back in Destin if it happened, and if it didn't happen, it was just a matter of the decision to come forward. And to be honest with you, when it came forward, I've been so into Marshall, I literally haven't. It has no effect on this year. And I don't think people really understand coaches. The way they work is you're focused on what's important now. Like, what are we dealing with now? That is not of importance to me right now. And there's no, I don't have any control over the outcome of it. As far as the balance of the three games or the preference of the three games, I don't really have a preference on that. I do think traditional rivalries are important. I enjoy those, having been a traditionalist and grew up in the state of Georgia, but I don't, no one way or the other. You got to win the games you play, man.
Kirby, do you go into this game with a plan for a number of quarterbacks that you would like to play, or would you be willing to share that with us?
That would be very presumptuous to say that. I don't do the assumptions. I don't get into the forecasting. I get into what do we have to do on each play to be successful, and that's basically what we're thinking about right now, is how we can be successful offense, defense, especially in this game.
Yeah, you mentioned competitions going through the first game in the season. What have you seen from those guys competing at guard, where you've got Kelton, Gaston, Micah, all those guys, and do you anticipate potentially rotating those guys on a regular basis once the season gets going?
Yeah, those guys have really been competitive and gotten better. We've had young players show up, play well. We've had old players have days they play well. They've all had some nicks and bumps and bruises. Some guys have missed a little time in that guard competition, but it's continuous, right? It's not even about this game and how we're going to play on this game. It's about today and how we're going to play them today and how we're going to practice them and keep getting guys better.
Kirby, can I get your thoughts on when you decide to play a freshman, especially early in the year, game one? Are you excited that you have a guy who can step in that early, a standout player, or are you a little more disappointed that you don't have a guy like an upperclassman who'd lock that spot down? And what do you tell the freshmen going into that?
Yeah, that's more is what it is for me. It's it's like the glass of water. Is it half full, half empty? It's just a half glass of water. It's not half empty or half full. I don't look at it and say the freshman's there. Is that disappointing? Is that promising? I look at it as what it is. Who's the best player that gives us the best chance to win, that can go in and be the most effective? That's simply it. And what do we tell them? So go do what they did in practice, because if they're out there for us, they earned it. They didn't get anything handed to them. They go out, they earn it, they compete, they play the best, and that's the guys that get to play.
Dylan Bell's a guy that's been here for a while at this point. What do you feel like his role is in that room, and just what he brings to that room on a daily basis?
He brings size, toughness, and experience. He can play every position across the board. He lines up at X, Z, and and he's been a back. You know, he catches the ball well out of the backfield. He's extremely tough, knowledgeable, good special teams player. But more than anything, he embodies what we want at that position because he's got ability to run after the catch, and he's got vertical speed, great route runner. I mean, Dylan's an all-around really good football player.
Coach, everybody knows what, Kobe Young's situation was last year. He's now back. How is he maybe appreciated? This is the second chance he's now getting. How has he been so far in Canada practice?
He's been a tremendous leader throughout. He's practiced with toughness. He understands that position in that room really well. I think Coley and Bobo have done a great job with him of putting him in positions to be successful. He's one of the leaders in the group quietly. Just puts in really good days of work every day, really physical, can block, I mean, just incredibly, and has been a vertical jump ball, really good player for us in camp. So I want him to keep doing what he's doing and continue to lead that young group of guys in that room.
Coach, up here, when you talk about leadership, what is that number one trait or that priority trait that you want to see out of those guys as you have a roster that has a lot of new faces, a lot of new guys coming in with a certain amount of returning veterans on this team?
Yeah, number one trait of a leader for us is not worrying about what other people think about you, and holding people to a standard of excellence that has been set around here in terms of practice, behavior in meetings, the attitude to hard work, the commitment to like lifting and running and doing things the hard way. If you have a commitment to that and you embody it yourself, then you can be a good leader here.
Kirby, how has Zachariah Branch adapted to the Georgia way, and would you see him, is there moments you see him, how to see in person, his athleticism, his it factor that you just really can't resonate on tape or scouting or viewing from afar?
He's been really high energy, enthusiastic guy, loves football, enjoys practicing each day. He talked about that like he wants to be part of a group that loves to compete and go at it every day and bring their best. I mean, a guy that loves football, he loves working out, he loves taking care of his body. So very pleased with the energy he's brought to our team, enthusiasm, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play because he's had a good camp, and I think he really enjoys football, and those are the kind of guys that really enjoy Saturdays.
Yeah, you just talked about Colby and Zachariah. Do you feel like this is one of the deeper receiver rooms you've had, and just in terms of guys who can line up in multiple spots, play different positions, that kind of stuff?
It's hard to compare it from year to year. Certainly guys in that room that are contributing in many areas, like when we look across special teams and we rank players on our team just based on special teams, there's more receivers in the top 85 players than there has been in the past because there's some good football players in there. But I'm proud of the group, of what they've done so far, and I think they want to go out and improve it, put it on tape.
Yeah, Coach, I feel like the scouting world and the world at large kind of figured out Mike Green was a great football player last year. Is there anybody on this Marshall roster that you've had to make your football team aware of or that we should know about?
I think when you look across the board, there's so many different guys coming in and going out. It's really hard. You start with the quarterback position where they may play multiple guys. They've got, when you look at their history, they've got guys that can run it, guys that can throw it. Defensively, they've had really good players come through there, and not to single anybody out, I just think they've got really good football players. When you look across the backs they've got coming in, you watch the tape of the backs of where they played the year before, tremendous group of backs.
Coach, I know last season you kind of lamented the fact that there weren't enough reps for the 2s and 3s at the end of some games that everybody outside thought might be blowouts. What's your message to those first guys out there about you're doing this for your brother so he can get on the field and play?
Yeah, focus is on first impressions, and the first impression of this team is how we play in this game. And if you can play winning football and we think you're a really good player, we're going to try to play guys in this game regardless of where they sit on the depth chart. We want to play the guys that can be rewarded and play winning football consistently. But they do that by what they do in practice. It's not about 2s and 3s. It's about our ones going out competing and playing really well, and we'll see how it goes.
Time for one more question if anyone has one. Okay, Coach, thank you.